I'm Gabby. I'm 23 years old. I'm currently a part-time student at Eastfield, and I work full-time for a retail company.
All right. Thank you, Gabby, for volunteering. Remember that any information you give is only what you're comfortable sharing. Can you think back to your most stressful event and give me like a mini summary?
My most stressful event happened when I was around 20 years old, and that was my first breakup, and it was a tough one. My first and really only breakup, I guess I'd really call it.
Okay. And during this time, do you remember advice that people would give you after the breakup?
It was just your typical, just give it time, it gets better, you're gonna be okay, just little things like that that didn't help at all.
Okay. And do you remember who these people were? Was it close strangers,
Yeah,
family,
it was
coworkers?
family, a lot of family, my dad, and then best friends, my brother, just really anybody who was around me at the time. It came from strangers too.
Right.
But yeah.
And how did this advice make you feel?
It just felt repetitive because it was the same thing, and I guess it was just the best they could give me. But at the time, I was just so heartbroken. I didn't hear anybody out. I didn't want to listen to anybody. I didn't care what they said. I thought I was done. Like, it was the end of my world.
Right. And what advice did help, if there was any, during that time? Like, is there anything that anyone could have said that would have actually made a difference, no matter how close or any of that at the time?
I think it would have been just to do what you think is going to help you, because at the end of the day, that's all I really could do was for myself. No one could really tell me, you need to do this or you need to do that. It was more of, what do I need to do in order to get over this hump?
And in this time period, what did you need? Like, what would have helped? What did you need, or what did you want from people?
Honestly, I needed people to just leave me alone. Seriously, and then I needed the time to actually be depressed and be sad and do what I needed to, cry it out, do whatever that was, and then kind of bring myself back up and say, okay, you cried, you got over it, nothing's going to change, move on with your life. And that's whenever I decided to just kind of get rid of like social media. I got rid of a lot of just negative energy that wouldn't bring any good to me. And I started going to the gym, and then that's when I actually got this job where I'm at now. So I've been there for 3 years, and working definitely kept my mind off of all of that other drama.
Right. So one question, going back to what you said, did social media bring a negative or negativity to your life, or why did you get rid of that?
Yeah, the social media, it was definitely a negative impact because, one, the guy was on my social media, and it was so easy to just go to that and say, what are you doing? Just go look him up or whatever. And then also seeing other people so happy, or somebody asking, what happened? And, obviously you don't want to talk about it. So getting rid of that just got rid of a lot of questions that I didn't want to answer, or questions that I didn't want answered.
Right. Okay. And then eventually when you did pick yourself back up and you were like ready to kind of get over it, what did start helping? Like, what did you, like, did people tell you stuff? Did you start listening to advice then, once you were kind of in a better mood and doing stuff about it to be happier?
Yeah, I kind of just understood more of the advice. But the whole giving it time, it definitely took a few years for me to actually just say, it is what it is, like bygones be bygones, right, and have a normal, healthy life without worrying about this and that.
And what did you do during this time? Like, now that you weren't just being depressed at home?
Yeah, during that time, I actually slept a lot, but not in a bad way. It just kind of helped me get through some of the day. And then, like I said, I started to go to work more. I picked up more hours. At first, I was part-time, and then I decided to go full-time there. And that, took up more of my day. And then back to school would help me just, pass time.
What about your social life, for friends, family?
Friends, honestly, I've never really had too many friends. It's all been about my family, and they've always supported me and always just told me, it's, like I said, it's going to happen over time. And they were just always there. If I needed to talk, if I needed to, vent, they were the ones who I'd go to.
Right. So what would you say your big turning point or key thing was to the whole thing, like kind of getting through it?
Honestly, I don't know. It was just, I knew I was over it once people could mention that name, or if I would hear that name, it wouldn't affect me anymore. I wouldn't go and be like, oh, I used to date so-and-so, insert name here, and then, you know, bring back old memories. I could literally just hear anything or talk to anybody about even that situation. It wouldn't bring up bad feelings. You know what I mean?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I feel like it does, kind of.
It does.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for sharing your story.